Today, I want to explore a concept that recently came to my attention and that has fascinated scientists, storytellers, and dreamers alike: the butterfly effect. In chaos theory, the butterfly effect suggests that tiny changes in our lives, like the flapping of a butterfly's wings, can set off a chain of events leading to outcomes that we never imagined. Meteorologist Edward Lorenz first noticed it in the 1960s, discovering that even the smallest shift in initial conditions could dramatically change the course of weather patterns. Since then, the butterfly effect has become a powerful metaphor for unpredictability and the interconnectedness of our world. But see, guys, this idea isn't just for scientists. It's woven into our everyday lives. Think about the small choices we make, the ones that may seem completely insignificant at the time. Maybe it's deciding to prioritize self-care, as my friend Angie did in 2025, and now she's watching her life transform in wonderful ways. Or it's dedication to a goal, like Patty, Coach Patty, who completed her master's degree in social work in August this year. She's building a stronger foundation for her future. Sometimes it's a joyful milestone, like my friend Michelle, who got engaged this year. Or it could be the quiet courage to set boundaries with others and seek healing to build a stronger version of herself, like my friend Nancy did after she retired, after 40 years of dedicating her life to her career this year. As I reflect on my own journey in 2025, and I want to look at finishing the year strong, I see how the small moments hit my own life this year. All the steps I took this year led me to an incredibly strong finish and a very busy finish of 2025. Those seemingly small steps that I've taken all year long have rippled outward, shaping my 2025 chapter in ways I never expected. The butterfly effect reminds us that every action, no matter how small, carries the potential to change our lives and the lives of those around us. As we dive into today's episode, I invite you to think about the little things in your own life. What small choices did you make during this year that set you on a new path? How have seemingly trivial moments led to profound changes? Let's celebrate the beauty and unpredictability as well as the strength of our journeys this year, one butterfly wing at a time. Welcome to episode 31 of Making Mel Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, and other days flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So, this year has had many small moves for me that led to big changes, and I wanted to share the highlights with you to show you how the butterfly effect surfaced in my own life this year. In January, as most of you know, after a 14-month plateau with my weight, I joined Weight Watchers, and that was on January 16th of 2025. I had also started a GLP to help my insulin resistance. On January 25th, at the prompting of another member, I began attending a virtual workshop with Coach Valerie. From the moment I heard her speak, I knew I loved this amazing woman. And after that day, I started attending as many of her workshops as I possibly could. On February 8th, I began to speak in her workshops. And the friendships that I built throughout her community started to build and grow. On May 25th, one of those friends, Jess, who had at that time lost 70 pounds, decided she wanted to do her first 5K in 6 months. So I jumped on board with her and said, hey, I want to do it with you. But because she lives up north and I live in South Florida, we had to be a little creative. So I decided to organize a virtual 5K to support her and made it a virtual 5K your way, because we had folks who wanted to participate that were swimmers or bikers or walkers who couldn't run a race or maybe even walk it. So I made the effort to adapt the race for wherever people were so that they could all participate. And the race we joined for this adventure was hosted by Bishop Events, and it was held on November 22nd, which was exactly 6 months from the day that Jess said she wanted to do this race. Interestingly, that happened to also be Coach Val's birthday. Coincidence? I don't know. It seems a little ironic to me, but that was the date we picked, so perhaps that was the butterfly effect. That first virtual 5K ended up having 312 participants from our group. I walked the race, and it was my first, and I finished in 1 hour and 23 minutes. As time continued, I built more friendships and relationships. And to be honest with you, a lot of the relationships I've built this year have been the strongest of my life. I'm so grateful for the people in my community. In June, I ended up with pneumonia, and I was unable to work for about 3 weeks. And that also meant that workouts were out of luck. So during that time, I decided to pivot and apply for PhD programs, which was a dream I'd had since I finished my master's in 2003. So I took a chance and applied. And I was accepted and started my first class for my PhD in health sciences on August 18th of 2025. And as of December 12th, I have 2 classes with A's under my belt, and I'm actively studying the impact of strength training on menopausal women. So that has been an incredible butterfly effect, all based off of that one pivot. As the year progressed, we moved into September, and on September 18th, I launched this podcast. And it currently has regular listeners and 5,000 downloads in the 90 days it's been in existence, which is incredible to me. This podcast started because I just wanted to be a guide to other folks out there who might be struggling in figuring out their health journey, figuring out how to fit it in their life, or just figuring it out. Because when I started this journey, I had guidance from some folks, but I didn't really have a guide. And I wanted to be the voice for other people that I didn't have at the time. The success that it's had so far has really kind of stunned me. And I am so incredibly grateful. I can't even tell you. So as we continue to move through the year, October 18th was a particularly special day. We had a workshop with Coach Val that day, and members were asked to share if they could name the chapter of their life that they're writing right now. What would the name of that chapter be and why? And that moment led me to a level of inspiration that I had never anticipated. The things that folks were saying and the voices that they shared on that day just blew me away. And I was so motivated that I decided to gather all the voices and make them into a book for Coach Val's birthday in November. So in order to gather all those stories, I had to gather emails from all my friends and ask them, hey, can you submit what your chapter would be and why to me? And I ended up with 80 or so stories. And that was definitely a butterfly effect that led me to be able to keep our community together when the next thing happened. All that time, I'd been building relationships and friendships with all the lovely people I'd met, and I was talking to people on a daily basis. And then on November 7th, corporate cuts led to all of the support staff and 29 coaches losing their jobs. And the news was delivered in the coldest manner I could ever imagine. It was an email and an impromptu Zoom meeting, and the lack of concern shown by the corporation changed my view of them forever. Not just due to the way that the employees were let go, but the fact that the corporate folks who made the decision dropped the cleanup in the hands of the coaches that they kept, which is another level of cruelty in my opinion. Now, when a seemingly bad thing happens, we're left with choices. We can lay down and give up, or we can look for another open door. Coach Valerie was one of the coaches that lost her job, along with Coach Nikki and Coach Patty, who was a support person at the time. So I immediately started looking for an open door on the day it happened. And the butterfly effect on this one started that night. The friends who I'd built relationships with were really hurting, and we had been on and off the phone all day long. So I decided to create a free Zoom platform so we could just get together and process that night. And so about 60 of us gathered. And by the time we finished talking and processing through our feelings, we decided to hold a workshop the next day, which was a Saturday. And on that Saturday morning at 9:30, I held my first workshop with about 100 people, just as a way to try to keep them together and give them some hope in a situation where a lot of people really felt hopeless and lost. And Coach Val was away on vacation at that time when all of this happened, so she wasn't even available. But Coach Patty and Coach Nikki were there, and all of our friends. And my primary goal at that time was just to help my friends get their footing and keep our community together. Because Coach Val was the person that kept us together. And I wasn't about to lose any of my friends, and I wasn't about to have them out there hurting on their own. That moment, and that Zoom platform led to the last 2 months of free workshops that myself, Coach Valerie, Coach Nikki, and Coach Patty have been running. During this time, we have connected with folks from everywhere, some who had stopped their health journey for a long time, others who moved in different directions, but they all decided to come listen to our free workshops and start rebuilding or further building themselves. The amazing strength that I see in these friends inspires me every single second of every day. And now, this week, marks our last week of free workshops, because yesterday we launched a business. Lifting Your Life Coaching was born. And this morning as I woke up, we have had friends signing up to join us since 8 p.m. last night. And we officially start our schedule next week on January 4th. And this moment started by walking through a door in January and meeting an amazing woman. The butterfly has been a symbol in my life for a long time, ever since I started my health journey. And it began with a novelty ring that my daughter Genesis bought me in a gift shop in Orlando. It was during one of our visits to Disney in 2018. And then as I started my health journey and I began at Iron Night Gym, I wore that little elastic beaded ring as a reminder that I was transforming, because that's what a butterfly stands for. It's transformation. The first day that I started powerlifting in the gym, that novelty ring broke. Not the butterfly, but the band that held it. So I replaced it with another novelty purple butterfly ring, which incidentally broke the weekend of my first powerlifting competition. Another replacement broke in January of this year. And then another the week I started my PhD. See, I don't think that this is coincidence either, because every time there's a big milestone in my life around that time, another butterfly ring breaks. So I keep replacements on hand. I buy them on Amazon and I keep them here in case another ring breaks. And this morning, I got up to put 2 of my silver butterfly rings on, And guess what? Another broken butterfly ring, which I will incidentally share with my friends today when I complete a workshop at 8 p.m. this evening. Butterfly effect? I guess only time will tell. I shared all this to let you know the following. It's the small, seemingly insignificant, normal things that you do every single day that can lead you down a path for big things that maybe you couldn't imagine. My health journey ends in 2025 with me not being on a blood pressure medication or cholesterol medication, which I was on at the beginning of the year. I will start 2026 in the 200s because I'm leaving the 300s in the dust behind me. I start my year as a coach, helping to guide others as I plan to compete in a powerlifting competition in July of this year and hopefully break some state records. See, 2025 was a year of building, and the butterfly effects in my life are extremely evident. As I enter 2026, I don't subscribe to the new year, new me way of thinking. I am entering it as Coach Mel, the same person I was in 2025 and 2024, etc., etc. I am just a woman who believes in herself, believes in her friends, believes in this health journey, and I love people well and want everyone else to succeed in their health journey, no matter what path they choose, and no matter what supports they choose to help them get where they want to go. I'm strongly motivated to help others as they find their path and as they find their way to make a health journey work in a crazy world with busy schedules and conflicting priorities. It's not just a mission that I'm on, but it's a dream come true. As we move into the new year, my mission is clear. Be a voice to others that helps them in lifting their life. And I mean that statement with everything in me. I've chosen a word for the upcoming year, and my word is acceleration. And I plan to live that out in every way possible, in the small things. And I can't wait to see what the butterfly effect is in the upcoming year. So as we move into 2026 and life gets even busier, my podcast will continue to come out once a week on Saturday mornings. And if you want to come join our coaching platform or even check us out this week while we still have free sessions, you can reach me at Coach Mel at liftingyourlifecoaching.com. I'm proud of my accomplishments this year, as they so greatly show the butterfly effect in my life, and I cannot wait to see what the new year holds for all of us ahead. One thing I know for sure: no matter what kind of week or what kind of day I'm having in my own health journey, as 2026 rolls on in, I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. Happy New Year, listeners. Until next time, onward and upward, my friends.